All right. This is number 186 YouTube Live Yoga Routine. And this morning, I was looking at biblical quotes in regards to having a master and what that entails. And one reason that I looked at it or looked at this concept is because in yoga, in the yoga circles, gurus are sometimes looked up to. And I have nothing against someone wanting a guru or not having a guru. That's not what I'm talking about. But I am focused on what it means to have a guru. You can call it a master, lowercase m. And I watched some videos about having a guru. For me, being Americanized and being in the world that we're in right now, I believe in teaching yoga in order to make someone feel like they're their own master, their own guru. That's how I approach yoga. That's how I teach it. Now, that's my way. If somebody else wants to teach it another way and look up to an individual, that's on them. There's nothing wrong with that. One truth, many paths. They can have that path. But I think it's important to know that you can be your own guru if you like, and not follow someone else. And I know that there's depth to having a guru and all that stuff, but tricky stuff. So I looked up having a master in the Bible. And of course, I came across the famous verse, Matthew 6:24. And it's also in Luke 16:13. And it's regards to having wealth versus having God. You can't have two masters. That's what the verse is about. So I'll read the verse quickly and share the depth of the verse. Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Now that's in regards to wealth. You can't have wealth be your master and still serve God. But there's a depth to this verse that this verse is based on, which is that you cannot have two masters. And in regards to the Bible, if you know the Bible, you know God is love. And if you have God and He's your master, then you have love. Love is your master. And that's what the verse is about. I just lost the verse. And if you have love, you can't have hate. So you either have hate or love. That's what the verse is based on. But going deeper, it's also based on the fact that you cannot have two masters. You cannot have two masters. So that brings me to teaching yoga in the culture of America, Americanized culture or American culture. So you either become your own master, where you're your own guru, or you let someone else be your guru. Now there's a thread and a depth there that doesn't really apply in yoga, but it's very important to become your own master. And that is what we're learning on the yoga mat, to become your own master, to learn to be your own guru, to learn to listen to yourself. And we do that by doing yoga, the physical poses of the yoga, or the physical poses within the yoga routine. Didn't know how to work that. So, for example, if you're in a pose, you learn to listen to your body. Now, here's the depth. And your body is telling you, I can't go any further. You listen. And you don't go any further. Or your body tells you, hey, you can go a little bit further. You listen. Listening to yourself. And you go a little further. And this transfers into the mind where you become your own guru. You take that off the yoga mat. And what you do is learn how to listen to yourself. So if you're in a situation and someone tells you to do something, you listen to yourself. And you become your own guru. And you're like, should I do that? Or if someone tells you to believe something, you learn to listen to yourself. I don't know if I should do that. Or I don't know if I believe that. Be your own guru. Don't be a follower. Now, there's a depth that I'm ignoring because in yoga, people do follow gurus. And there's nothing wrong with that. And they might have talked to themselves and thought, you know what? I'm going to follow this person. And that's fine. People do it. Christians do it. They follow Jesus. And nothing wrong with that. In a way, I follow the concept that Satchidananda shared of one truth, many paths. Because what happens is that the guru disappears, and then you follow the information, not the actual person. So I don't want to leave that out because that's important because people are following the truth, not the actual person. Now, let me put up my phone. Very, very difficult subject to talk about in yoga because people are attached to a specific way of doing yoga, a specific mindset, a specific person to follow. And I like to teach and get rid of all that and just follow yourself, be your own master. And if your own master in your head tells you to follow this person, then do it. But we're stripping all that out. And that's what I do when I teach yoga. I strip all the stuff like the yoga words. I purposely don't say asana. I almost couldn't say because I don't say so much. Or when I don't say, I do use one word. I say namaste. And people are like, hey, that's not how you say it. That is how you say it. You say it like you don't speak English, then go ahead and say it that way. But you want to be careful of that because then you start tapping into a foreign concept, and you think it is enlightenment when it's just something foreign to you. You're accidentally doing that. This is my opinion. This is how I approach yoga. That's all. This is my opinion. This is my path. And saying namaste is like, I experienced this during becoming Muslim. People used to say, no, Muslims, hardcore Muslims. No, you don't say Muslim, you say Muslim. And they focus on these words as a cultural simulation. And then you think you're tapping into something that's beyond in that realm of God and heaven. And all you're doing is tapping into a different culture that seems foreign. So you think you're tapping into this extra realm when you're just tapping into another culture simulation. And I'm not saying don't say Muslim, say Muslim if that's what you want to do. But for me, I was being told to say Muslim or Islam and not Islam. And then what happened is I started getting stripped down of who I am. And I apply that same thing in yoga. It's not asana. It's a pose. It's namaste. Oh, you don't say it right. I do say it right. I'm an American. And that is what is important, in my opinion. This is all my opinion. This is all my opinion, because I want to take yoga out of culture, out of some society, out of some country, and say, hey, you don't have a monopoly on yoga. You don't have a monopoly on mind and body becoming one. And you can make it your path, one truth, many paths. You can make it just like all religions, adapt to the culture and the society they become a part of. So be true, be you. So say pose if you want, or say asana if you want, say asana if you want. Say namaste, or just say peace. Be true, be you. And once you do that, boom, you're your own guru. And then tap into yoga. So we're going to do 2 slow sun salutations today. So we'll begin in the mountain pose, 2 slow sun salutations, just focusing on the breathing, thinking of nothing else but the breathing. And when you do that, you can't have judgment. All that stuff I just talked about was judgment. You can't have that. Even I was judging too, but I'm getting rid of all that on the yoga mat. I was just judging myself, getting rid of all that, bypassing all that, forgetting about this culture, that culture, how to say asana or sana, how to say namaste, getting rid of all that and just tapping into the oneness that we all share, regardless of where you're from, regardless of how you speak, regardless of all those barriers, becoming one. And then we'll close it up with a mountain pose. I forgot to say that part. So feet are shoulder width apart, toes go up, spread the toes as wide as you can. Each toe touches the floor one at a time. Knees are bent, hips are tilted, arms are relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed, neck is relaxed. In the mountain pose, you lengthen up. So pull yourself up and then line up the bones so the skeleton is just standing as if you were just your skeleton. No skin, no muscle, no fat, no ligaments, tendons, none of that stuff. You're just your skeleton. You're finding that spot where the skeleton stands and becoming firm like a mountain. Now, the firmness in the mountain pose is not that you're staying firm, but the firmness threads through the skeleton, which is part of the flexibility. So even if you're wobbling back and forth slightly or moving back and forth, you're firm because you're going with the flow. That's firm. When you're actually firm and stable, you can break. But when you go with the flow, you're not going to break. And you take that off the yoga mat and you're going with the flow, continuing this moving meditation. That's even that subtle. You focus 100% on the breathing. Your palms together, thumbs to the heart center. Push the arms out, up and back. Inhale, inhale slowly. It's the first stretch, so nice and easy. And then exhale. As you exhale, you hinge forward from the lower back. Reaching out, keep the back as straight as you can. And then once you're down, you fall into the ragdoll. The ragdoll, the arms dangling, the head is dangling. No tension anywhere. You're not trying to be somewhere. You're not pulling yourself in or pushing yourself down. Just let the body fall where the body falls. Release and just let the body fall where the body falls. And you're focused 100% on the breathing, letting go of everything. Don't judge it. So even if you're up here like this, you're thinking, man, I'm not going down far enough. That's not what we're doing. Let go of that. That's judgment that will prevent the mind and body from being one. That is a barrier. Even if you're going all the way down and you're all the way in and you're thinking, man, this is awesome. I'm doing it perfectly. Again, judgment. That what we're doing, that's awesome. It is awesome. But that's not what we're doing. Letting the mind and body connect as one. Accepting where you are. Ultimately, learning acceptance. Arms to the calves, elbows into the sides of the legs. Arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Inhale as much as you can. Then exhale. As you exhale, you pull yourself in. Push all the air out. Exhale, get all the air out. Once all the air is out, You're going to arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Inhale as much as you can. Then exhale, pull yourself in and down, get all the air out. Again, arch the back, raise the head. Inhale. Then exhale, pull yourself in and down, get all the air out. Once all the air is out, just release and just breathe and watch yourself breathe. Now, you are pulling yourself in and down, forehead go to the knees in this pose. But once you get to the spot right before you feel like, man, I shouldn't go any further, just relax, settle in the pose, accept where you are, and just focus on the breathing. Thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. The palms to the sides of the feet. Left leg is back into a low lunge. With the low lunge, top of the foot to the floor, knees to the floor, hips are square, pushing forward diagonally, making sure the front knee is not over the toes. If it is, lengthen up some. I got something on my mat. And you're arching. So when you're arching, hip bones pushing forward, back arches, head is up. You're to your palms, maybe you're to your fingertips. Maybe you're up like this. It doesn't matter. Wherever you are, you're going to accept where you are. And you're opening up, feeling open. And just focus on the breathing. Feeling open is very, very important. Feel open. So even if you're feeling like, man, I'm closed up, let go of that. That's judgment. Feel open. The body does not dictate whether you are feeling open or not. Once you accept, boom, you tap into openness. Very important mindset to learn on the yoga mat. So when you're off the yoga mat, you feel open. You feel open even if you're in a so-called enclosed situation. At a job, just say you're at a job and you feel enclosed. If you accept where you are, you will feel open. Boom. And then you'll find ways to leave that job. Or you'll reinterpret the job. And you'll be like, man, this job is awesome. Because it's all about a mindset. Now you're going to go to high lunge. So curl the toes under the back. Knee goes up. Get the leg as straight as you can. And then downward dog, pushing into it. Arms are straight. Legs are straight. Tailbones to the ceiling. Heels are towards the floor. You are pushing into this pose. Head is dangling. Really, really push into the pose. And of course, you're only going to the spot right before you feel like you shouldn't go any further. Let the head dangle, no tension in the neck. And just focus on the breathing. 100% focus on the breathing. And if you like, push a little bit more into it. Or don't. Remember, you're listening to yourself. You don't listen to me. I'm not your guru. I'm not your leader. I'm not your master. We're doing yoga together. Now you slide into the upper dog. So you drop down to the knees and the chest. And you slide up. Tops of the feet are going to the floor. Of course, the palms are to the floor. Head is up. You're doing a scoop. Now you can modify this pose by going to hands and knees, arching the back into the cow. Or you go to small cobra, bring belly to the floor, chest is off the floor, palms are touching the floor, but you're not using them. Not pushing up, you're pulling up. Back muscles are pull muscles, so you're pulling up. And just focus on the breathing, thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. Then back to downward dog, really, really push into it. Remember, listening to your own body, get to the spot right before you feel like you shouldn't go any further. Settle there, accept, and focus on the breathing. You're thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. And if you like, push a little bit more into it, but remember, listen to yourself. Let the head dangle, no tension in the neck. And then you're going to bring the left foot up between the hands into a low lunge. The low lunge, top the foot to the floor, knees to the floor, hips are square, pushing forward diagonally. Front knee is not over the toes. If it is, lengthen up some. Arching the back, Head is up, feeling open. Remember, you're tapping into the feeling of openness. The body does not dictate whether you are open or not. So even if you're in the downward dog, you're open. Physically, you feel closed, but once you accept where you are, boom, that's the door to openness, acceptance. And just focus on the breathing, thinking of nothing else but of breathing. You're going to go to high lunge, curl the toes under the back, knee goes up. Then standing forward bend, pull yourself in and down. Forehead's going to the knees. You are pulling yourself in and down in this pose. But once you get to the spot right before you feel like, man, I shouldn't go any further, get to that spot, settle, and just accept. And you relax into the pose. You're focused 100% on the breathing. That heightens your awareness. Let you know what's going on in the body. Let you be aware of maybe the stretch that you feel in the hamstrings or the lower back. But you're not focused on that stuff. You're aware of it. Again, focusing on the breathing heightens your awareness. Palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale. Turn the palms out, push the air down and out, exhale. And again, last one salutation, inhale. Then exhale, hinge forward. Pull yourself in and down. Forehead's going to the knees. Get all there out. Once all there is out, just relax. And just focus on the breathing. Let yourself breathe. This pose is an important pose because when you inhale, the belly swells with air. And then when you exhale, the belly goes in. So when the belly swells with air, it pushes you out of the pose slightly. Let yourself be pushed out. When the belly goes in, you go back into the pose. A very, very subtle movement. But you're aware of that movement because you're focused on the breathing. That's what you're taking off the yoga mat. So when you're in the so-called real world, you are aware of the subtleness around you. Left leg is back into a low lunge. Remember feeling open, opening up, arching the back, pushing the hip bones forward, diagonally forward. Back is arching, head is up. Just focus on the breathing, thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. Feeling opened. Now high lunge, curl the toes under the back, knee goes up, just as a transition pose. And then downward dog, pushing into it. Really, really, really push into it. And just focus on the breathing. Thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. And then get to the spot right before you feel like, man, I shouldn't go any further. Find that spot, settle there, accept where you are. And again, just focus on the breathing. And then you slide into the upper dog, drop down to the knees and the chest. You slide up. Tops of the feet are to the floor. Of course, the palms are to the floor. Modify the pose how you have to. And feel open. Let go of judgment. Let go of trying to be somewhere. Just settle in the pose. Back to downward dog, pushing into it. Really, really push into it. It's the last downward dog. So if you feel like, man, I can go a little bit further, then go a little bit further. If you feel like, man, I can't go a little bit further, then don't. Learn to listen to yourself. The left foot is up between the hands into a low lunge. Opening up, feeling opened. Accept where you are and just focus on the breathing. Thinking of nothing else but of the breathing. High lunge, just for a second or so, transition pose, and then standing forward bend, pull yourself in and down, get all the air out, then release there, and then just watch yourself breathe. Focusing 100% on the breathing. And palms together, reach out, up and back, inhale. Palms out, push the air down and out, exhale. And then the mountain pose. Remember, mountain pose, feet are shoulder width apart. Knees are slightly bent, hips are tilted. No tension in the shoulders or the arms or the neck. And lengthen up. So lengthen up and then get the bones to sit on top of each other. And so you resist the skeleton and just focus on the breathing. Now you're already breathing automatically. So you're not going to control it. You're just going to watch it. And you do that by focusing on the belly. As you inhale, the belly swells with air slightly. When you exhale, the belly goes in. Just watch that. Or bring your focus to the tip of the nose and watch the air go in and out. Remember, you're not going to control it. And what happens many times is you start to control it. When you focus on it, it's hard to focus and then not control it. Then you realize, hey, I'm controlling it. Just let go. Don't judge it. Just let go. And just watch it. And it'll happen again and again. You go back and forth. And eventually, you let go. And what will happen, most likely, you'll start to think about other things. When you realize, hey, I'm not even thinking about my breathing. Just let go and start to watch yourself breathe again. Again, you go back and forth, you'll think about something, then you'll think, man, I'm not thinking about my breathing. Don't judge it. Just watch yourself breathe. Let go and continue to watch yourself breathe. And what happens, eventually, you realize you're not your thoughts. But you're the thing watching your thoughts. So we're just going to stay here a little bit longer. So just watch yourself breathe. Palms together. That's it. That is number 186 YouTube Live Yoga Routine. So I've done 186 days in a row. And I will see you tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. And I have whatever 186 minus 365 is left to do. So namaste, peace and love.